Today's entrance antiphon for this Mass reads, O gates, lift high your heads, grow higher ancient doors, let him enter, the King of glory. On the threshold of Christmas, with really just a couple of days separating us from the solemnity of the Nativity of our Lord, it's good that we meditate on these words in a spiritual sense. O gates, lift high your heads, grow higher ancient doors, let him enter, the King of glory. It's good that we meditate in a spiritual sense on these words and ask ourselves, well, have we made progress this Advent in fighting our predominant fault? Our predominant fault, that gate, that ancient door that keeps our Lord out of our souls. When he comes, our Lord will come. He will enter our souls, but he'll stop precisely where this predominant fault begins, where we bar his way, where we close the gates, where we keep those doors shut. That predominant fault can be anything, really depends on the person. But it's a bad master. It could be laziness, and if that laziness tells you to be lazy, well, you're going to obey it. It could be gluttony, but if that gluttony tells you to be gluttonous, you're going to obey it, etc., etc. It's a bad master, and it's a tough one to finally be liberated from. It's not really in our own power to be liberated from this predominant fault. It's our Lord that has to do it, but we have to ask him to do it. If we grow accustomed to the fact, well, ancient doors, well, I've had this fault for a long time, might as well keep these doors shut, they're tough to open, well, then our Lord will stop right there, and he won't enter any farther. It's not in our power to open these doors, but if we can use an example, an analogy, we're the ones that have the key to these doors. Our Lord has the strength to open them, but he needs us to give him the key. That's why in these few days that are left, it's a temptation to get caught up in the last-minute preparations. We all have them, but we should focus or examine ourselves precisely on that. Am I really willing to let our Lord enter into my soul, into the depths of my soul, or am I going to keep him out? Am I just going to let him in to a certain point? So we need to pray especially to Our Lady, that we be able to hand our Lord that key, that he might throw open these ancient doors, lift high the heads of those gates that keep him out. These words, in the interpretation of the Fathers of the Church, also refer to Our Lady, to her virginity, body and soul. In her body, because her womb was opened only for our Lord, who entered and came out without violating her integrity, and also the virginity of her soul, which was in love with God and him alone, open for him to enter into the depths of her soul. Our Lady is not an obstacle that gets in the way, rather she is the way itself. So we need to ask her, we need to pray to her to give us that desire to want, at least to want, to be rid of our predominant fault, to hand our Lord that key to those ancient doors, so that when he comes, we'll be able to say truly and honestly to him, O gates, lift high your heads, grow higher ancient doors, let him enter, the King of glory. And if we have that good disposition, he will enter. Our Lady will give us that grace, and our Lord will rule in our souls. Praised be Jesus and Mary.